So the highly anticipated Overwatch came out, and it seems to be the big thing that every single video game player in the whole world is talking about. And for good reason. It's an amazing game. Highly polished, well designed, innovative and different, simple enough on the surface to just pick up and have a good time with, but complex enough to allow for strategic play at the high tier, and with a cast of interesting and charming characters, Overwatch certainly has a lot going for it. As I was playing the game though, a thought crept into the back of my head. There just really isn't that much to Overwatch. More and more often recently, games have been getting slammed for the amount of content they offer at release, and oftentimes reasonably so. The game industry seems to be pushing the line for how little content it can offer players while still getting first day sales. For example, Evolve last year was ridiculed for its minimal content offerings and use of microtransactions. Similarly, Star Wars Battlefront came out with very little content, disappointing a lot of people. And this year, Street Fighter V launched without a completed story mode, offering very little in terms of single player content. Even with its engaging online play, it too was criticized heavily. Now, Overwatch launched and well, it's been very highly praised despite not offering a ton of content either. So let's talk about what you get when you spend the $60 to purchase Overwatch. You get 21 heroes, which is the obvious selling point of the game, as playing heroes is what makes the game so different from other competitive shooters. You get 12 maps, which isn't a ton, but they're all well designed, so that's okay. You get 3 game modes, and I have to say the game modes themselves aren't really anything particularly special. Assault, Escort, and Control, all which are just slight variants on the Control the Point modes that have been in many games before. Nothing out of the box or innovative when it comes to game modes. There's no real progression system, the only thing you unlock when you're leveling are cosmetics, and this has its pros and its cons. It has the positive aspect of making sure the balance of the game is only determined by the player's skills, but also means that there isn't really any incentive or meaning for leveling, especially since they made it so hard to unlock the super cool cosmetic skins. That awesome Widowmaker skin you want? Good luck getting that from your random crate drops. Oh, but don't worry, the game totally has microtransactions so you can spend absurd amounts of money to get those things. Sweet, sweet microtransactions. Thanks, Blizzard. Anyway, there's no single player mode apart from tutorials and training modes. This is strictly a competitive online shooter. And because of that, there also really isn't a story. Blizzard did an awesome job of introducing the characters in animated shorts before the game launched, but the characters and their stories aren't really reflected in the game itself. In all honesty, the amount of content that Overwatch gives isn't really that different from Star Wars Battlefront or Evolve or Street Fighter. So why is it that Overwatch is immune to the minimal content complaint that so many other games fall into? I think the biggest factor is the extremely high quality of content that is provided in Overwatch. Overwatch is a stellar game. It sets the new high bar for the quality of competitive shooters, and I think that's why people are defending it so much. People really want the game to succeed since what it does do, it does really, really well. I know for a fact there are some people who say things to the effect of, "There's totally enough content in Overwatch, I've played the game for 200 hours, and I'm still having fun, I'm not bored, I'll never be bored." But that statement's more reflective of the quality of content offered, rather than the amount of content offered. And Blizzard could do so much more with the game. Personally, I'd love to know more about the world of Overwatch. Blizzard did such a good job of creating memorable characters with personalities and backstories, yet there is no way in-game to explore or discover more about these characters. I know Blizzard could do a story mode well, and I think Overwatch would be a great place for that. I would also love game modes that aren't just variants of attack or defend the point. A more diverse set of game modes would allow players to dive even deeper into individual character strategies and team options. Maybe a variant of capture the flag, or defend the chosen player mode, or even make a 3-team 4 vs 4 vs 4 mode. I think there's a lot Blizzard could do with exploring other options. I'd also appreciate a revamped loot system, one that doesn't drop all the cool stuff really rarely. Maybe a more fleshed out currency system where players could more easily save up their currency to purchase the cosmetics they actually want. There is in-game currency, but it's almost as rare to get as cool cosmetic skins. And speaking of which, I would love more good cosmetic skins. It's kind of a weird situation where you have so much detail put into these characters, and yet the majority of cosmetics you can unlock are really low effort palette swaps. Seriously, I unlocked this Mercy skin, and I didn't even know it was a different skin at first. I didn't know. These are obviously just a few little examples, but I just hope this illustrates that there's just so much more that Blizzard could do with this game. So anyway, that's Overwatch. It's an awesome game that's fun to play for hours and hours, even though there isn't actually a lot to it. I'm not too worried though. I know that this is just the start of the game and Blizzard is going to add a lot more later, and I know that a lot of the stuff they're going to add is going to be free content updates, which is fantastic. Confidence in their ability to support the game definitely helps drive my confidence as a consumer. So we'll have to see what Blizzard does. Hopefully they'll add enough meaningful content to the game and support Overwatch enough that it will avoid the post-launch content conundrum that so many other recent games have fallen into. Thanks for watching. This has been PaperTony, and I'll see you next time.